Hello, living in Boulder vlog, July 12th, 2021, and it's like 11:30 at night or something like that. Still on the 12th. I've been forgetting to do my videos when I get up. I got up and I was moving around, then I remembered, and by then it was like too late. I was still already doing stuff, so I'm in the process of spending all my extra time renovating my apartment, but I'm doing it with my mom, so it's like super slow going. Taking my time. Have a 73, and then I got a 73-year-old painter who was my mom's like painter back in the early 70s, and so he's actually going to come tomorrow and finish his job. He wanted to caulk the top, make it perfect. So just doing things like yesterday. It's super slow going, cause now I'm at the like perfecting stage sort of, and I'm not even done yet. Yesterday I bought a joint. I borrowed $6 from my mom because I had $5 in my wallet. Got a joint. Smoked it yesterday 2 times, and then today, this morning, smoked it when I got up. I slept last night, but I was working until 3 in the morning last night because I smoked the joint, and I was just running around trying to do things, that I hadn't had time to, like, just cleaned my gecko cage, and went in the basement and looked at stuff there, organized it a little bit, talked to my ex-roommate, told him I wanted him to come over and get some more of his stuff. So I guess tomorrow at 5 he's going to come over and pick up the dining room table. And luckily my brother has this like $1,000 like monkey pod rainforest tree from Hawaii table with drawers, and it extends both ways, and super fancy, that my grandparents brought back from Hawaii in the 40s. He was going to give it to the thrift shop, and then my mom was like, Kyle needs a table, so I guess my mom and other brother might go down to Telluride for the film festival, so they could bring my table back, because my brother lives in Ridgeway. So, in September or something, so my mom brought by this tiny little foldable table that I can use meanwhile, because my roommate's going to come take his table tomorrow. I wanted him to take it because my mom doesn't want it to be here anymore. And then he's going to get a bunch of stuff he left in the garage and up here. And if whatever he doesn't grab, throw away or donate. Yeah, just clearing stuff out. 14th is the day after tomorrow, is the day that I guess the side board comes in, and then after that they can schedule installer, which is like 3 or 4 weeks out. So I've got like a month of just perfecting my apartment today by myself. So got up and about at like 8, even though I was up working until 3, I still managed to sleep well and had a big old dream. I don't remember it yet, but even though I'm smoking joints, I'm not smoking as much. And the little bit less weed that I'm smoking is enough to make it so that I can remember my dreams. So, or at least when I first wake up, and after the weed cycles out, I'll be remembering all of my dreams and be able to talk about them, and that'll be trippy. If you talk about your dreams out loud when you wake up, you'll remember them. Like, they won't fade away because you'll remember talking about them. And that's like the doorway into remembering your dreams. So, and if you remember all your dreams, oh my God, imagine how much insight into your subconscious you're going to be giving yourself and the world. So I'm super excited about that. I was doing that when I was having my vlog and the van vlogs, talking about my dreams. So I got up and organizing my just pile of stuff on my table on the deck and just sifting through it and putting stuff where it needs to go. I want to go ride my bike to Target, because it's only like a block away, like 2 blocks away, and buy more Tupperwares. I'm a Tupperware guy, and then like Ziploc bags, and just organize. Then I have to get back to my room, organize. I actually haven't even organized my shelf there for months. Like, I never organized it. Last month when I organized my room, I never actually did my shelf. I wore out first. So, yeah, so that's exciting. It'll be hard to organize tomorrow and not be high, but I can usually go like a day without being high. I don't think I'm going to buy another, at this point, I don't think I'm going to buy another joint because I don't have cash, you know. You can only buy joints with cash, and I don't like getting money out of the bank to buy joints with. I already spent $40 this month. What is it, the 12th? It's the 12th of the month, almost halfway through. I've already spent $40 of my own money on weed. Because I got $20 out, got 2 joints with that, and then I got $20 out, got 2 more joints. And now they're selling joints for $11 instead of $9 because they're bigger now, so. And also, because I've been smoking more joints, my tolerance has gone up a little bit. Before, when I took a few weeks off, damn, you take a couple of huffs and you're high off your ass, so. But it doesn't take long, just a few days. If you do that, if you smoke a joint a day after taking time off, you're going to, your tolerance is going to be up again within like 4 days. So, I'm realizing how out of shape I am in because I've been walking around, and I was walking around looking in the mirror, like with my shirt off, and I look like ridiculous with my shirt off. I'm all like out of alignment like this, like a little boy. I'm out of alignment, and then I have a big old belly and no muscles, but big old droopy titties. It's like I'm a full-blown dad bod guy. But I feel worse than I look. I'm a waddler. So, yeah, this is like getting up and doing all this work is a big-time wake-up call. I have to figure out how to... It's my ego that keeps me working on my website all the time. I judge myself based on my website, not on my physical fitness or anything, But then I will then switch and judge myself based on physical fitness when it's too late. So, yeah, I think I'm back on the horse again. One reason why I wasn't really, I was easy to be like, lock myself in my room that long was because, my roommate was kind of keeping me in here. He was outside and just being creepy in every way imaginable. Like, he'd go out and make coffee and grind his coffee beans, and then he would put ice cream in it and microwave it. So I would have to hear grinding of coffee beans and then slamming of the microwave like 50 times a day, like constantly. And then he'd be mad and slam stuff, and standing there and watch the coffee be made. And so I literally couldn't. If I went out in the kitchen at any given time of day, if I'm listening to a song, before that song's out, he's walking in the kitchen. Even if he's not even in the apartment when I walk out, he'll come in from the outside somewhere within 2 minutes. So it was like I lived with 30 people. So I finally had to kick him out, which was good for him because that's when he finally bought a house. So, so that's going to change a lot. I can actually breathe in my own apartment. And then I'll get another roommate in here pretty soon, but they'll be sane. There's no way they're going to be as crazy as my ex-roommate. Yeah, hopefully they'll have a life and they'll be busy, and I'll be able to focus on my own thing. Because I took like a month off this summer to try to get back in shape, and I did some like bike rides, a few swims, a few runs, like 3 each. Lifted weights a couple days, but half of the time was just still trying to organize. Also, I had really bad insomnia, which made it so that I didn't sleep at night at all. I'd just be laying there awake at night, and then sunrise would come. And when sunrise came, that's when I went to sleep, because you have to sleep. I'm a human being. I can't go days on end without sleep. So then I'd wake up at noon. So I'd only had a half day of daylight, which cuts into your productivity. So I'm looking forward now that I can sleep at night, because I've been sleeping at night every night for the last like a couple weeks, because I was at my mom's house, and I figured out the magical formula to sleep. It's a Zyrtec, which is it's an allergy pill. But if I take a Zyrtec with a melatonin, I'm out. I'm so out, I'm like still out when I wake up. I'm groggy as hell when I get up, like I need a coffee. It's a full-blown sleeping pill for me. I was taking actual sleeping pill, Unisom, and it wasn't doing anything. I was taking a Unisom a night, every night this summer, and it was like a caffeine pill. It like made me even more awake. So I'll take these Zyrtecs. When they run out, I'll try the Unisoms. Maybe that'll help. But got up, and then I was organizing, and I'm still not done. Put my couch covers out of the dryer and put them on my couches, and just all this stuff. Vacuumed all over, swept all over, threw stuff away. It's just busy. So my mom was going to come over and help me today, but instead she came over, and we went over and got paint shaken, but then I guess she wants to use another color for my deck wall. And then I spent $50 on another gallon of white paint, because I'm going to paint all my floorboards around my house, like the living room that I didn't do yet, and in my room, and then the heater all over the house, in my room, in my bathroom, and in the living room, and then paint this furniture outside on the deck all white, including the insides of the drawers. So maybe I'll use up the whole gallon. That'd be cool. I have to paint over the caulk on the top that the painter's going to do tomorrow. So, and then what else do I have to do? I have to organize my basement again, and I brought up a bunch of stuff from the garage. That's what I mean when I say basement, because the garage is in the basement. My little skis, and I even ordered on Amazon a one-man tent, because I'm there. I had one of those before. I only have hammock tents, just to give myself a sense of freedom. Whenever I want, I can go in the mountains and camp. Found a backpack in my mom's basement. Bro brought that over here. I might want to buy a smaller one later on that's more fit for me, but so I went down to, after getting the paint shaken and bought the paint, we dropped it here again. And then we went down to Costco, because we were going to go in Superior, because we were going to go to Hobby Lobby and buy spray paint there for my metal furniture, my lounger and table on the deck, because the paint guy at the paint store said that they had the best spray paint for that over there. But I went there, and they were closed. They had been taken over by Michael's or Target. So, but we did buy a bunch of stuff at Costco, frozen food and food for me, juice and stuff. I have a bunch of, I want to get more Tupperwares, because I want to put a bunch of like raw food materials in the Tupperwares, fill it up with pasta, rice in another one, maybe even pancake mix in another one. One of them had like the bedding to my gecko. And then outside I have one with like a bunch of bike tubes and bike parts and Ziploc bags, and yeah, just figuring out where everything goes. I have a little table out there that goes under my other table that opens up on the top, so I have all of my drilling stuff in there, with the bits, and then yeah, Tupperware inside with the paint stuff, and then under the table on the side is this big toolkit. I think I'll paint it, because it's nasty looking, faded, but well built steel one from who knows how long ago. So that's where I'm going to put some stuff. So I think I have enough organizational area in my house. Yeah, like I would never want to live in a place bigger than this. Because I'm like super meticulous with the way that I organize stuff. And it would just take me forever if I moved out to organize something else. And it'd take me forever to organize it because I get over perfectionist. And if I lived in a big house, I'd just be spending all day long on projects on it. So yeah, to have this is perfect. My brother actually told me today because because after the end of the day, I came back here and I was like organizing and cleaning and stuff until 5:30 when I went to my mom's house because she had a birthday party for a friend, and so we had this big meal and beers, and then we saw a movie after, and but my brother mentioned to me that he was talking to my other brother and they want me to sell my condo because I share it with them so that they can get the money. And I'm like, but where am I going to go? So I was like, no, this place is perfect for me. So, yeah, I really love this place, but I'm going to have to get a roommate. So, I'm super fired up to try to get in shape, but it's going to be hard. Not as quite as enjoyable. I could get away with having fun riding the bike, but it's not going to be fun running. Last time I went running, I think I ran 3 times. I couldn't run. Like maybe my legs were still sore. They were kind of jello-y from a bike raid the day before or something. Because I like literally couldn't run, even on the flats. And I'm like, oh shit. And I had to like walk back and at Chautauqua. And so at this point, the idea of running seems like impossible for me. And it seems so impossible that it would like never be possible. Like it's an age-related thing. But I know there's older people who can run. And so it's just a matter of time. Just a matter of time. So that's actually not the most difficult part. I mean, sure, maybe that's difficult. The most difficult thing for me is to just kind of ditch my website. My mom always tells me I'm never going to make money on my website, which is extremely aggravating. She said that yesterday. She goes, we're sitting around, she goes, like, your jobs you had, they didn't really pay much in Social Security. She's like, oh, you're going to be screwed. You need to worry about that. And I'm like, what? You think I should get a job? Some part-time labor job or whatever so that I can pay into Social Security? She's like, oh, you're going to be screwed. And I'm like, what about my website? Like, you really think I'm never going to make any penny on my website? She basically confirmed it. She's like, well, you haven't yet. So, like, you're telling me I'll be 80, 90, and I'll work 12 hours a day and I still won't ever make a penny? Because you haven't yet. And it's like, whoa, reality check again. Slapped across the face. I know there are a lot of idiot people who would think something like that. I mean, I get comments on my YouTube. I never get I get as many hate comments on my YouTube as I get compliments now, to this day. I got 2 hate comments in the last month. One guy said I was the lowest common denominator, Dale, so I blocked his ass. And then some other guy said I was just a bum or something who was never going to do anything. And so, but it's totally different when your own mother is saying that shit to your face, and then you can't even convince her otherwise, and she's just like drills in to her idea even harder the more I deny it, and then she gets angry with me for being dismayed at her, and now it's like, oh my God, what the fuck am I dealing with here? So my mom's kind of a moron. I mean, that's just mathematically impossible. Even if I was the least talented, laziest motherfucker ever, that's impossible. Of course you would make something. So, I don't know how that got started, but that was disturbing. I was disturbed by that. I try my hardest to not talk to my mother about my website or my plans for the future. I plan on doing a YouTube show about the history of Rome, which I've talked about, but I also plan on doing history of but that I'm not going to be ready for that for a long time because I have to prepare the Google Earth and my screen captures of Google Earth, video and image, video capture and screen capture to incorporate in my show. But I do want to do a show before that. I want to get going on the show, but I don't want to ruin it with Rome because I'm not done. So I figured I'd start earlier, like in the middle of, before the Bronze Age collapsed, like in the height of Egypt. And instead of a year being, a day being a year, or like a year being 100 years, and a day being 100 days, I would do like a day being a year. So I could zoom through time faster, and if I prepare for Rome, earlier than I thought, or later than I thought, I could just adjust the time accordingly. Like from now on, every day is 100 days, not a year. Or now from now on, every day is 2 years because I'm getting close. That kind of a thing. It's not fixed, but once I get to Rome, I want to have it fixed at 100. So each year is 100 years. I was originally going to do it by 50, but 100 is easier to conceptualize. Plus, I can get through 1,000 years in 10 years, and that's good enough. Anyways, I have, my ex-wife wants to do it in Italian and Spanish, and that's cool. Maybe I can see if I can get Kirsten to do it in English, but that could cause problems. When you mix women together, it's kind of like catfighting. So, had to say that. So I haven't even decided what I'm going to do about that, but that is something that I would like to do. But anyways, I couldn't mention that to my mom because she'll have a goddamn conniption. I mean, she actually thinks I'm crazy, which is extremely disturbing when you find out your mother you get just confirmed over and over again that your own mother thinks you're crazy. And I realized that because when I was cleaning my house, my mom goes, stay focused, because I was like, yeah, let's go get a table. No, not yet. Why? Because we have to wait for the people to put the floorboarding in the guest room. And I'm like, okay, well, what the hell does a dining room table have to do with floorboard? Oh, there's an order to things. Okay, but there's an order to things if one thing is in the way of another. Like, you have to do this in order to clear way for that. But getting a dining room table isn't in the way of doing planks in the room. They're mutually exclusive. So you would just get ahead on what you want to get ahead on, but she doesn't like getting ahead on stuff. Like I said, like, let's do upholstery for the room. No, not yet. Why? Floorboards. But the floorboards, we're just waiting on the floorboards. Like, that's your own mental construct. Makes no sense. So anyways, so she's actually the crazy one. But then she says something like, when you're organizing she said this yesterday, when you're organizing your house, remember there's an order to things. Just don't fly off at the handle and do this and do that, because then you'll never, ever get it done, ever. And I'm like, that's what you say about my website, but how does that carry over into organizing an 800 square foot apartment? Like, that's definitely not a never-ending project. That's something that you could completely finish within a day or two, so it doesn't matter what order you do anything. You just do it whatever order, and then you finish. And then there's no stress about doing it in order. But my mom thinks that if I'm going to finish organizing my apartment, I have to first organize this table, and then go and organize that table and find out where this goes, and then you would clean at the end, and don't go and clean this because it's off in the distance. Like, don't clean your personal bathroom because it's not in the living room. You have to clean the living room, bathroom first. And none of that makes sense, but she's convinced that I will never, ever, ever, ever finish. Like, I'll be 80 years old and I'll be working 12 hours a day trying to organize my apartment, but I've never finished because I was doing it in the wrong order. That is cuckoo for fucking Cocoa Puffs. That's retardo talk. But that's also my mom thinking that I'm completely goddamn insane. That proves that my mom thinks I'm nuts. She thinks that I don't have any rhyme or reason or order to anything, and it's so bad that I can't even clean my room. Just because she got that idea from my website, because I haven't made any money with my website yet, even though I've made so much progress. I could show her, but I can't show her because it gives her a headache, because it reminds me that I don't make money with it, and also because I guess, I can't show her fluidly click, click, click here because there's too many things that are not done, broken links and not explaining anything. So it just goes to show you the psychology of people, especially, I guess, old ladies, because she's 79, going on 80. She'll be 80 this year. So people, they only judge you on money. They literally only judge you on one thing, and it's how much money you make. And if you're making money, then everything you say is correct and it's all perfect. If you're not making any money, then it's all fucked and you can't even clean your house. So it's pretty crazy. But my mom's not the sharpest tool in the shed. I've always known that. I've always said it. She's got common sense politically and with relationships, and she's really super stickler, just through example mainly, but like of being honest and doing your part and all that kind of stuff. But her brain is like Swiss cheese, like her logical connection to connecting things and coming up with logic and is just all over the place. She's not a smart person. So that's what I'm dealing with. And it's just a conversation that's just going to have to be made until she dies. I don't think she'll ever learn, especially if I don't make money. If I don't make money, she's probably not even going to let me get a sentence out before she'll just bark at me. So, at the end of the day, I'm super fortunate. I get to hang out with my mom all day, every day, and we have fun pretty much all the time. And she lives a mile away, so we hang out. But I'm really good at wasting time when I'm hanging out with her. We don't get a whole lot done. I have to pay the painter $800 for work that I could have done by myself in one day. I like to paint. I could have done it, and I would have done it all by myself and saved $800 worth of labor. That's not even the cost of the paint. That's just the labor for like 4 days, 4 6-hour days. So, but she insisted that that's what I needed. So she's not the greatest at saving money either, but it did make it helpful and not stress-free, and I got to do it with her. So I prefer to, work on my house and stuff with her and take longer than do it by myself. I'm kind of like, I'm getting enough exercise moving around. My back, man, picking things up, my back is so weak. Gets so sore so easily. Yeah, I can tell my posture's fucked up. So I'm definitely gonna start training again all the time. The problem that I had last month, there were some problems. I was trying to train to be a triathlete, and I do want to be a triathlete for a whole bunch of reasons. I want to run and stuff, but I don't want to, I don't know, be rushed and I have to do all of it now. Because what I really want to do is ride my bike up in the mountains, climb a mountain, then come back. Do athlons to the tops of mountains. Because I'm training myself to be able to get up in the morning. If you can get up in the morning, if you can sleep at night and get up with the sun, like you're supposed to, then I'll have the entire day, meaning I could do those big things. So that's what my big goal is and what my passion is in. And take my time with the music and the audiobooks and exercise, educating myself when I do it. Let the weed get out of my system a little bit. But I really do need to get back in shape because my arms are sore. Like my my shoulders in the socket are sore for no reason. So it's like I feel like I'm falling apart. Like it's all melting away. All my muscles and tendons are just melting away. And then I'm getting like bent from the gravity, and then I'm fat, and it's like all falling apart. So if I don't get back into shape now, like if I wait until next year, it'll be even harder. And I won't even be able to run at all. I'll have to walk, which is boring as hell. So that's the reason you don't see a lot of, because I look at results sometimes and comparing ages. I have a rowing age comparing on my bike. And if you look at like triathlons and stuff, people fall off at around 50. Like the winner of a 45 to 50-year-old triathlon is like beating the fastest pro woman. Pretty much still have it, you know. But then when you look at the 50 to 55-year-old guys, they're getting beat by the pro women by like a freaking half hour. And I don't think really so much the reason for that is like your body goes off the cliff so much. It's that people that age waited so long that when they try to get back in shape, they can't do it, and they just give up because you can't get over that hump to get it back. You know, like people take time off and then they want to get it back and they just can't. Not enough money, not enough time due to having too many obligations. So that's the thing where I am like in a really good situation, and I've consciously engineered it this way. The whole reason I made my website was like circled around the athletic stuff was so that I would force myself into it, because my website's not going to work unless I live the life of the website. Like I'm writing all day long and recording my training and plugging myself in all these different charts and levels, you know. It was for me to plug myself in to motivate myself to do it. So if I don't ever actually do it, the website's got up in smoke, but then that means my whole life is. So I'm kind of built into the system, me having to do it. So it's just my website has to get to a point where I'm not like embarrassed about it. And it's not logical to be embarrassed and self-conscious, like worrying what people think about you. But I'm really good at separating. But then my mom, I mean, she'll scream, she'll cry, she'll yell, she'll interrupt, she'll start banging her fists on the table. She'll start yelling at me to get a job just to meet people and just start yapping stuff that makes no sense. Basically telling me I'm never going to make money. I mean, just a classic, just puking crap all over me. Enough that some of it sticks and it makes me paranoid, you know, and I'm like, oh my God, I need to separate myself from this monster. But she's actually much better than most people, you know. But she's not. She is a little bit on the conservative side. Yeah, that's mainly the thing. I have to be able to. But then she'll turn around and be like, "Forget about the website. Don't worry about the website. You know, just train." But sometimes I feel like she's not totally honest. Like she wants me to forget about the website, not so I can try to get in shape, but so that I would just get a job to meet people or whatever. So, because she doesn't understand, she doesn't know what, she doesn't understand the concept of creating a new like economy or a new way to make money, like doing, you know, recording yourself doing miles and then taking history tests, talking about audiobook, and then actually getting paid for that. She thinks that's like, she wouldn't even begin to try to understand that. And she didn't even know that there was such thing as professional athletes. I had to explain that to her last month, that there were people traveling around the world doing sports, triathlon, bike races, and they're paid by sponsors and they're part of a team, and the sponsors pay them, and then for ads. She had never heard that in her life, which blew me away because she'd been here forever. And then she also didn't know that how you make money online. I'm like, she's like, how are you ever going to make money? I go, with ads. It's like, that's how Facebook makes money, with ads. That's how everybody in YouTube makes money, with ads. She goes, well, how are you going to do it? And I go, well, with the hits. The hits lead to the ads. She had no idea. She had not a clue. She's like autistic. She's off in La La Land most of the time, it seems like, when it comes to stuff like that. So that's why I like to hang out with her all day, every day, because I basically lecture her all day, every day, saying the same thing, explaining the same thing over and over again. If I spend 4 hours a day explaining to her what I'm up to and how it makes sense and all that, it will reduce the chances that she's going to be completely oblivious and not have a goddamn clue of what I'm doing, like, next week. Which she's a given, and she's going to be completely oblivious anyway, but she'll be a little bit less completely oblivious to what I'm up to. And if it makes sense. And, she's still, I can't show her my website. Like, if I say, can I show you my website, all of a sudden she'll blow up and start yelling at me, saying she has no time because her life is, like, swallowing her up. But at the same time, she watches a movie a night and watches news all day long and basically is retired. So it's some kind of, like, allergy or something like that. So, yeah, it's just weird. And I'm not saying people should go and check out my website, because I know how, I think it's actually the annoyance of a website goes up exponentially based on how big it is, Like, if you have a tiny little website and a bunch of links are not working and nothing's explained, like, that's whatever, you could fix that. But if you have a huge website like mine and, like, everything is undone, it's not finished, it's like walking into somebody's house and just seeing papers and everything just lying all over the ground. Like, somebody ransacked the place, and it's like, gives you a headache just to be in there. So, like, the energy just gets bounced everywhere and makes you crazy. It's like trying to do a meditation inside of an aluminum can or something. If you look at aluminum, it's just metal shards just jam-packed together in every which direction, so it can't conduct any energy through it. But if you're sitting inside of, like, a copper pyramid or inside of a crystal, it's a lot more, soothing and relaxing. It's like being in somebody's house where everything is put away and perfect and clean, as opposed to some, like, ransacked house. So that's kind of the effect my website has until it gets fixed. But the beauty is, once it's fixed and everything's perfectly aligned, it'll be a thing of beauty. So that's what keeps me going forward. It's like that striving for that perfect expression. It just takes a long ass time. So, anyways, that's what I'm gonna do tomorrow. Gonna get up early. Gonna go to sleep now. Take my Zyrtec and melatonin after this video and lie down, and hopefully I'll be able to sleep. I had a bunch of beers over there. It'll put me to sleep for the first, like, hour of this documentary. So Amy Chan or whatever, who wrote Happy Buyers Club. Anyway, and yeah, do the last round of organizing and putting stuff away in the house. And then I'm going to take the upholstery off, reupholster the chairs, even though my mother will be jumping up and down, screaming at me not to do it because you have to wait around for the people to put the planks in or something that won't make any sense. And then I'll have to paint the floorboards around my house and the heaters, and we're going to paint the wall of my deck and the floor of my deck. And yeah, so a couple more days. I asked my mom yesterday how many more days she will be helping me until we're done, and she said 3 or 4. So I guess 2 or 3 now. So, and then after that, I can't get a roommate or look for a roommate until I get the floorboards put in. So I'm going to, proceed to try to do these mountains, get back in shape, just living in the house by myself. I got a air fryer, or they just invented those or something. Those things are amazing. It was only like $25. It's part of the toaster. You just chop up. I chopped up like 4 potatoes, and that was too many. You should do like less. It didn't say how many potatoes, but into 8 bits. You just chop them into 8 bits. Pour a tablespoon of olive oil on them, and then throw some like a teaspoon of salt and half that of pepper. You just throw them in there, push the button for 25 minutes, and they pop out. Just sitting there, it's suspended on the tray, and they pop out with no leaking or anything, and you got freaking French fries. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, oh my God, let me look at that cookbook. I want to air fry everything. So yeah, I want to start cooking for myself. It'll save me money. I don't have the car anymore, so that'll save me money. So, hopefully, yeah, I think I'll be all right. If I get a roommate, rent the room out for $800. It's a great room, newly renovated house, semi-private bathroom because I have my own bathroom. Gigabit internet comes with it, washer dryer inside, pool, weight room, perfect part of town, right next to downtown. It's a pretty good room, so I should be able to get a quality person in here, not like a poor person from a bad family who has friends and family who are getting kicked out of their house, so then they have to move in with me because they have nowhere else to go, and then they steal my shit when they suddenly leave. I've had roommates like that a bunch of times. Just like an actual human being, not a lunatic like my roommate was just moved out. With a life, and who gets up in the morning, and is busy. But yeah, I get some time to myself, I guess a month or whatever, to get into the groove of sleeping. It's been extreme. It's been impossible to sleep at night so I'm glad I was at my mom's house for that week. So anyways, and I even slept last night, even though I was working until 3. I was just like, fuck it, let's just do this. So, yeah, I think I want to buy, these like skins for my skis, little short skins. If I can't find something, maybe I already had something. If not, I'll buy it, and then I'll use them as like ski snowshoes that you can then make skis. I have this idea of like maybe even riding the bike in the mountains and climbing a mountain, come back in the winter time. If I can get to that level of fitness. But my mom will loan me her car too. I don't want to be, I want to set up a system where I can do something outside no matter what it's doing with the weather. Like even if it's raining, just go riding in the rain. But that's the one thing I wouldn't want to do anything outside because I have plenty of stuff I can do inside. So anyways, that's what I'm up to for today. Tomorrow, maybe I'll talk in the morning and talk about my dream and what I plan on doing tomorrow. Yeah, and then I can get going on my studio, figure that thing out. But yeah, I kind of don't have them. I kind of feel a little bit overwhelmed with that, so maybe I'll hit that a little bit later. But once I figure it out, I can get going with my show. So like now, so like act out everything, get a gist of, and I want to make a map of generational change. And I haven't fully thought it through yet, but if you can explain that and with your show, like just with all the banter, talking about different family members coming and going, and then you could, like the patterns of, like the four different generations. You have hero, and then slacker or whatever, and then quiet or whatever, and then just all throughout history do that and try to create these ripple effects. That'd be pretty cool to implement in this show, but I haven't really figured out how I do it. All right, anyways, enough babbling. Talk to you tomorrow.